fellow wannabes, Happy New Year! I am sure I am not alone in that last year I spent more time in my home than I think I have probably spent in my entire life combined, which is saying something because I am an introvert. So my 2021 New Year's resolution is that I want to turn my home into a place where I genuinely enjoy spending my time. So bundle up, because today we are taking a mental journey to Scandinavia, where they have some of the highest rates of happiness in the entire world. And a lot of that has to do with their approach to their living space. Our first stop on this little expedition is Denmark, where we are going to be learning about the concept of hygge. Hygge is a term that doesn't have a direct translation into English, but some phrases that kind of capture the general meaning are the art of creating intimacy, coziness of the soul, taking pleasure from the presence of soothing things, and cozy togetherness.
There's so many different ways that you can experience hygge, but the one that I felt like was most applicable to my life right now is the concept of a Hygge Crow. A Hygge Crow is basically that special spot in your house that's just for you, where you can curl up with a book and cozy blankets, listen to music, and just feel really safe and secure. Since I've been living primarily at school for the last few years, I realized I didn't actually have a space like that in my parents' house, which is where I'm living now. So I decided this would be the perfect time to put together my own little special Hygge Crow. Of course, the most crucial component of any Hygge Crow is lots and lots of candles. Unfortunately, as you're about to see, I had a few technical difficulties with that part.
After all that, I decided to blow out the candles. I know it is like the ultimate hygge necessity, but it was just posing too much of a fire hazard for me. So in case anybody was wondering, I don't think I have any Danish ancestry in me at all, because I can't even light a candle. But that's okay, I've got the next best thing. Twinkle lights! This is by far my favorite piece of decor for any room, so it definitely needed to be in my Hygge Crow anyway.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my Hygge Crow.
What we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
The next stop on our little adventure of coziness is Sweden, where we're going to learn about the concept of Lagom. Lagom is basically all about balance, and the English translation actually means not too little, not too much. This is a great concept to put into practice in many aspects of your life, from school or work to clothing to, of course, your home lifestyle. So I've been trying to implement that concept into a few aspects of my life, but the biggest one I would say is overall organization. I'm very organized mentally. I've always worked really hard in school, and I've always tried really hard to keep track of assignments. But when it comes to my physical environment, for example, my closet, it's almost always been a mess. So I've decided to take this opportunity to purge my wardrobe, get rid of things that I can't wear anymore, that are too small for me, or I just don't really like anymore, and give them to Goodwill.
Future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Some of this process was pretty easy because I had a lot of things stored away from several years ago that were really out of style now, so I definitely wasn't going to be wearing them again. But there were some things that were very difficult to get rid of. Even though they were too small for me now, they were things that I had worn for holidays or birthdays that I had just attached special memories to. And so saying goodbye to items like that can be really difficult. So do not be hard on yourself if you are struggling with this process, or if you're trying to organize but you're getting emotional. I think that's totally valid and probably is to be expected. So take it slow.
The last stop on this little adventure of ours is Finland, where we're going to be learning about the concept of Sisu. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a book for Sisu because I burnt out my Barnes & Noble gift card on Hygge and Lagom, but that's okay because I found this awesome video on YouTube explaining the whole concept, so I'll link it down below for you to watch. But basically, if I had to sum it up in one English word, it would probably be grit. One of the things that the video talks about is the first time that this concept kind of surfaced in the US, and that was back in the 40s in a Time magazine article talking about how the Finnish people had defended their land from the invading Russians and how they kind of kept them off during World War II. And so they used this word to describe the bravery and determination that the Finnish people demonstrated in the face of pretty seemingly insurmountable odds, and it was amazing. It's crazy how even during a time of terrible grief and loss, we can also learn things about ourselves. And one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot while I've been stuck at home is just what things are really important to me that I really want to accomplish during my life. And, you know, not so much career or family, because I think about those things all the time, but more like adventures that I want to have. So today, I am going to start making plans to achieve one of my long-term goals, which is to take a really fancy transcontinental train ride. And I know that's kind of random, but it's just something that I have always wanted to do. I've always imagined myself, you know, looking out through those big windows into the frosty scenery and curling up with a cozy book and getting to stay in those little cabins that like convert into bunk beds. And oh my goodness, I just love the idea of it. So I'm just going to start planning now. I'm going to practice Sisu in a small way, admittedly, but still a way that is important to me. So today I'm going to be planning my train trip.
So as far as these fancy transcontinental train rides go, really the most classic option is of course the Orient Express. So I figured if we were going to do this, we were going to really dream big. And I have really no idea if I would ever be able to take a trip like this, but like the video said, really the biggest part of achieving big dreams like this is just taking the first step. So that is what we're doing today. They have Vienna. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my dream destination, like if I could go anywhere in the world, would be Vienna. They just have such amazing music and architecture and art. Yeah, I think we're going to have to include Vienna in this trip. It's just too perfect. Okay, here we go. Set off on a glamorous journey from Vienna to Paris, depart from the musical city, and enjoy a night of peerless luxury before arriving at your destination the next morning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm interested to see what the actual route would be on a map. Awesome. So we would actually be getting to travel through 3 countries: Austria, Germany, and France. That is so cool. Wait, okay, so what What parts of Germany will we get to see? Wait, where is the Black Forest? Wouldn't it be cool if we got to go through the Black Forest? I just always wanted to go there because of the fairy tales and all that stuff. Oh my goodness, wait, isn't that where the route was passing through? Wait, would we actually be going through the Black Forest? Maybe? It's really close, but I also don't know how large the Black Forest actually is, so maybe, maybe not, but either way we would be in that region, so I mean, the scenery has got to be gorgeous either way. Oh my goodness, this is so cool. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, I would totally be like one of those nerds who would like print off my itinerary and get my map and like track our progress along the way. So as the last part of my planning process, I also made a page on Notion where I planned out my itinerary and my accommodations, and that also included calculating the actual cost for a 2-passenger ride on the Orient Express. And boy, it was gut-wrenchingly expensive, but I'm not going to get discouraged because one day this trip is going to come to fruition. I am just choosing to believe that it's going to happen.
All right, we've reached the end of our journey. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope you had fun. I understand that these concepts are very culturally relevant around the world, so I don't want it to seem like I'm taking them lightly or just looking at them as trends. I appreciate how important they are to many people in different countries, so I definitely want to do this in a respectful way and just with a posture of wanting to learn and see how I could maybe take some of these concepts and apply them to my own life. So I hope you're able to find something to apply to yours as well, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Let me know down below if there's any way that I can be encouraging you or praying for you this week, and I will see you next time.